This is American Wisdom 750 Great American Quotes and Sayings, written by My Ebook Publishing House, read by Matt Montanez. 1. Age. The young are slaves to dreams, the old servants of regrets. Hervey Allen, Anthony Adverse. Young men have a passion for regarding their elders as senile. Henry Adams, The Education of Henry Adams. At 20 years of age he will reign, at 30 the wit, and at 40 the judgment. Benjamin Franklin, Poor Richard's Almanac. At 20 a man is full of fight and hope. He wants to reform the world. When a man is 70, he still wants to reform the world, but he knows he can't. Clarence Darwell, Speech at Monkey Trial. We do not count a man's years until he has nothing else to count. Ralph Waldo Emerson, Society and Solitude. A young man who has not cried is a savage, and an old man who does not laugh is a fool. George Santayana, Dialogue. The wisdom of the old is a great mistake. They do not become wiser, but more prudent. Ernest Hemingway, A Farewell to Arms 4:35. Oh, to be 70 again. Oliver Wendell Holmes, Jr. Remark at 90 when passing by a pretty girl. 2. Americans. Culture with us ends in a headache. Ralph Waldo Emerson, Essays. All his life, the American gets on and gets off trains that go by. He never misses them and never breaks a leg. George Santayana, Character and Opinion in the United States. Americans are scarcely Americans at all, but discontented Europeans. The making of an American begins at that point where he himself rejects all other ties, any other history, and himself adopts the vesture of his adopted land. James Baldwin, Notes of a Native, Sun, p. 143-22. There is no act two in the lives of the Americans. Sinclair Lewis, The Last Oath, The Big Spenders. I believe that all that one has to do to gather a large crowd in New York is to stand on the curb a few minutes and gaze intently at the sky. That the postmasters in small towns read all the postcards. That all newspaper reporters carry notebooks. That, when shaving in a railway train, a man invariably cuts himself. That nicotine keeps the teeth healthy. That the wife of a rich man always looks wistfully into the past and wishes she had married a poor man. That the quality of the champagne may be judged by the amount of noise the cork makes when it is popped. That all the French women are very passionate and will sacrifice everything for love. That if one swallows an ounce of olive oil before going to a banquet, one will never get drunk. Henry Louis Mencken, George Jean Nathan, The American Credo. Good Americans, when they die, go to Paris. T. G. Appleton, quote by O. W. Holmes in The Autocrat at the Breakfast Table. A bleak society that eats down some tasteless food, then sits down in a t-shirt, empty-minded, upon some rocking chair, full of ridiculous ornaments, in order to listen to mechanical music, saying mechanically phrases about the excellence of Ford cars, and all this, while considering themselves the greatest nation in the world. Sinclair Lewis, Main Street, p. 12. I'm not a Virginian, but an American. Patrick Henry, Speech, 1774. The American people never carry an umbrella. They prepare to walk in eternal sunshine. Alfred E. Smith, Speech. 3. Advertising. Advertisements contains the only truth to be relied on in a newspaper. Thomas Jefferson, Letter. It pays to advertise. 4. Anger. When angry, count 10 before you speak. If very angry, 100. Thomas Jefferson, A Decalogue of Canons for Observation in Practical Life. Anger does not like to be reminded of fits. Jack Kerouac, Mexico City Blues, 113.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?